So this is a video about the alternate method of factorising polynomials. So we know if we've got like a quadratic that's non-monic, we can do this PSF thing. So the product is 3 times minus 8, which is negative 24, and the sum is our negative 10. And so the factors there are going to be negative 12 and plus 2. So we just split this middle term into minus 12x plus 2x. I'm going to put the 12 with the 3 and the 2 with the 8. So minus 12x plus 2x minus 8, and then we pair it up. Now we know this quite well by now, but it is relevant. So I've taken 3x out, so that'll be minus 4, and this is 2, and that's also x minus 4, and that's what we should see there. We should see the same factor coming out. So our x minus 4 is the common factor if we think of this, and this is two terms. They've both got an x minus 4 in common, and then 3x plus 2 is the leftovers. Now I'm going to extend that method into some harder ones, so like into a cubic, for example. So the first thing that we need to do with the cubic is use our factor theorem to find a factor. We do know that the roots are going to multiply for 6 and add for negative 4, and then the sum of the products of two of them is going to make 1. But that's a little bit complicated. It's really quite complicated. We could do long division. I do know if I plug 1 into here, I get 1 plus 4 plus 1 minus 6, I get 0. So I do know that x minus 1 is a factor. Now I'm not actually going to use x minus 1, it's a bit too trivial. If I plug negative 2 in, I get negative 8 plus 16, so we're at 8 now, minus another 2 gives me 6, minus 6 gives me 0. So also x plus 2 is also a factor. I could just use guessing and checking and find the third factor quite easily now too, because if I multiply these out, I'm going to get negative 6. So the third factor is going to be a positive, and 1 times 2, so times 3. So the third factor is actually going to be x plus 3. And those are the 3 factors. So with a simple cubic like this, that's probably actually the easiest way to do it. But I'm going to show you, I'm going to divide out the x plus 2. So my first term is x cubed. Now I'm going to split these middle terms exactly like I did up in this example. It's just a matter of finding that negative 12 and 2. We had our PSF to tell us the negative 12 and 2 here, but we don't have that so easily in this example. But what we do know is that x plus 2 is a factor. So if I was to skip a line, on my next line, I would be pulling out, just like I pulled out 3x here, I would be pulling out x squared there, and that would be multiplied by x plus 2, just like that one was multiplied by x minus 4. So this next term must have been 2x squared. And there, if you look at the coefficients, that's 1 and that's 2, and that's what I want, 1 and 2. So this 4x squared has to be split into 2x and another 2x squared, sorry. So I've split my 4x squared. Now, these two make this term. I'm going to do it without writing this next line. I need to know what this next one is so that I could factor out x plus 2, which means just like this term, its coefficient was double this one's coefficient, this one has to be double the 2. It's positive, so this has to be plus 4x. And then I'll be able to factor out x plus 2. So instead of x, I'm going to split this x into 4x minus 3x. So I've now split those two middle terms, and there's a minus 6 at the end. So if I've factorized those two already. If I do these two, I'm going to get plus 2x, x plus 2. And if I factorize those two, minus 3 is common, x plus 2. And then I can just pull out the x plus 2 because that's common across every term. And then the remaining terms are x squared plus 2x minus 3. And then I can just factorize that one in the usual way. So x plus 2, and then of course we get these two factors that we expected. And that's that one fully factorized. That was a fairly easy one. I'll do one more that's a bit harder. So when it's non-monic, it's not so easy to guess and check. I mean, we can use our sums and products of roots and that kind of thing. So remember, the sum of the roots is the negative of this over this. So the sum of the roots is actually positive half. Right? It gets a little bit complicated. The product of the roots is, let's go minus plus, so same sign, so negative 12 and 2. So the product of the roots is 6, negative 6. It gets a bit complicated. So with this one, first of all, I am going to use my factor theorem to find out what my first factor is. Now, I'm still going to try numbers where they're going to multiply out. The second term in each bracket is going to multiply out to make negative 12. One of these terms must start with a 2x, but that's certainly not the factor I'm going to try and find first. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, I don't want it to be too easy, so I'm actually going to choose 3. And when I plugged 3 into my calculator, sure enough, I got 0. So positive 3 went in, which means that x minus 3 is a factor, and that's the one I'm going to use. So what I'm going to want here is that the second term in any pairing is going to have a coefficient that's negative 3 times the first term. So my first term is 2x4, and now I need to split this second term. So it's going to be minus, because of this, and 3 times this. So this is going to be 6x cubed. So then we can easily factor out x minus 3, because this is negative 3 times that. Okay, now I did actually have minus 1x cubed, so I need to add back on another 5x cubed. So minus 1 is now split into minus 6 and plus 5. So this is my first pairing. Now my second pairing, I've got a 5 here. I need minus, and I need to go 3 times that, so 15x squared. Now the term I'm splitting is this one. So I've got 15, or I've got negative 15 already. I need negative 26, so I need another minus 11x squared. So that's the split of this one. So first pairing, second pairing. So my third pairing, that was minus. So this one's going to be plus 33, because I'm multiplying this one by negative 3. And that's x. Now this is what I was splitting here, so I just need another 4x. I'm going to have to go on to the next line, plus another 4x, and then my minus 12 in the end. So that's my split of the 37x. Okay, just for the sake of space, I'm just going to come back over here a little bit. So let's pair up now. So we're going to pair up those, we're going to pair up those, we're going to pair up those, and we're going to pair up those. So this one, x minus 3 is going to come out. 2x cubed first is the common factor, and then I've got an x minus 3. From this one, plus 5x squared, and then x minus 3 comes out. This one is minus 11, so you notice the first number is, because this is a monic factor, the first number here is always matching up here. So that's x, and then x minus 3, and this last one is plus 4x minus 3. Take the x minus 3 out, and we've got 2x cubed plus 5x squared minus 11x plus 4. And now we need to repeat the process on that second one. So I'm actually, just for the fun of it, I'm going to actually pull out the factor with the 2. That factor is 2x minus 1. Now, so if I plugged in positive half into here, I would get 0. Sure enough, you can see that there, it is 0. So that's the factor we're going to take out of here. So I'm going to start by writing down the first term. Now I need my next term to be negative, and I need it to be half of this one, so just x squared. So I'm splitting my 5x squared into minus 1 plus 6. Now I need to work out how to split my minus 11. So my next term needs to be negative. This is 6, so I need this to be half of 6, so that's going to be 3. And that was just x. I needed minus 11, so I need another minus 8x, and there's the plus 4 at the end. Okay, so let's factor out that. So with this one, Now the 2 is going to go in the brackets. The common factor with those two is just x squared. So x squared to x minus 1 plus the common factor here is just a 3x. So then we've got the 2x minus 1 in the brackets. The common factor here is just, because the first term's minus, I'm going to factor out a minus and a 4. So then we've got our 2x minus 1 there. So all up we've got the x minus 3.
This is Mum's pen.
Then I'm going to pull out the 2x minus 1 because that's the common factor across those 3 terms. And then the remainder is x squared plus 3x minus 4. And then this last one is just that simple PSF. So I've got my x minus 3, my 2x minus 1. This one, it multiplies for minus 4, adds for 3, so plus 4 minus 1. And there's our factorised quartic.